Hey guys, Ailoupup here. First off, right off the bat, I know there's going to be a few differences in this video. One is that I'm using a different camera, and that is because I decided I wanted to try out using my phone for a camera. Don't know if this is just going to be this video or if it's going to start being all my videos, but we will see. The second is that I am in a different place. That is because I have moved, which is why I haven't been making videos, because I moved in with my fiance and I haven't quite figured out how I want to do videos yet. So this is, I guess, my attempt to figure that out. And I'm sorry if you hear noises around. I am in an apartment, so that's going to be a thing. So without further ado, the video. Today I am reviewing Tempests and Slaughter by Tamora Pierce, and I am not going to hold this up because it's heavy and I need one hand to hold up my phone and two hands to hold up this book. I do not have enough hands, so I'm gonna put this down now so that I don't hurt myself. I'll probably put up a picture of the cover here just so that you have an idea of what the book actually looks like. Tempest and Slaughter takes place in Tamora Pierce's Tortollan world and follows a young Aram draper who starts the book at age 10 and follows him through several years of his school life at the university at Carthage. As he is younger than anybody else in the university, Aram lies about his age, saying that he's a little older than he is, just to make his curiosity and intelligence a little more understandable. He meets fellow students Varys Kingsford, a decoration mage in training, and Ozorn Tosiki, the leftover prince, and becomes fast friends with both. I'm gonna start by saying I am a little biased on some of the characters. I have read and loved Tamora Pierce's Immortal series, and I know those books very well. I was and still am a little bit obsessed with those books. If you haven't read them, I won't spoil anything, but I will say that some of the characters who appear in that series also appear in this one, and that's not to say that you need to read that series before you read this one, or read this one before you read that one, because you don't. Both series can be read and understood fairly well without having read either one first. Now that that's out of the way, I did enjoy this book as much as I thought I would, but I did have a few problems with it. The one part that actually got to me a little bit more than I thought it would was actually the beginning. I didn't like where it started. It didn't start where I thought it was going to start, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. It's just that I feel like if it had started where I thought it was going to start, it would have made a bit more sense. Because throughout the book, we don't really learn a whole lot about Aram's family. We see them a little bit in the beginning, but otherwise they're not really talked about and almost actually kind of forgotten. I don't know if we learn more about them in later books, but in this one, we don't really learn about them. Other than that, Aram is a lot like what I had expected. Very intelligent, very curious, and that curiosity and intelligence can sometimes get him into trouble, which turns into something humorous for the reader and for the other students. His relationship with Varys I didn't feel was entirely necessary, and honestly I felt like it was only there because it had been mentioned that they had been together in the Immortal series. Occasionally, Aram in this book would mention that he felt something for her, but for the most part, it wasn't really talked about either. And there was one point where Aram, I think, was in a relationship and then was not, but it was only briefly brought up in like a single paragraph or two. And I feel like if that hadn't been there, I wouldn't have been missing much. I don't have much of an opinion of Varys otherwise, because otherwise she's not really talked about a whole lot throughout the book. She's there and she's a good friend to Ozorn and Aram, but otherwise she's not there as much as Ozorn is, because Ozorn is Aram's roommate. I do like Varys's character so far, but with Ozorn I can't bring myself to trust, and that is mostly because I know what he becomes. Not gonna say anything else about that, other than I do like him a little bit more in this book than I do otherwise. But I still can't bring myself to trust him. But at least I can kind of see a little of what Aram sees in him. When he's not angry and distrustful, he actually is not that bad of a friend, for the most part. In the end, I gave this book a 4 out of 5. I may go back and change it to a 3 at some point, but even still, I am excited for the next book that'll come out in this series. I don't know when, but hopefully soon. So before I sign out this video, I do have a quick note, and that is that I know that I had been doing a reading challenge, and it was only supposed to be for the 1 year, and I failed miserably. But I am still going to kind of do that reading challenge. I'm going to read those books that I had on my list, and I'm going to read them and review each of them at some point. I don't know when, but I'm going to read them, and I'm going to review them. They will be on my channel, so don't worry about that. And I believe that's the last thing I had to say. So, thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more videos from me.